I've had the Galaxy Ring just about 72 hours now. It poses some questions about its long-term purpose. In my 3 days with it, got some early impressions that you might need to know. Welcome back to SamMobile TV. You're here with Daniel. I finally have my very own shiny Galaxy Ring. When you compare it to a normal ring, it's definitely larger. You can see that on my fingers here. It protrudes just that little bit more off the finger as well. So you definitely can feel it when you sort of pinch your fingers together. The obvious reason for that is that it needs to house all of the sensors that sit inside here. So you can obviously get all the tracking and the metrics that you need for when you're using it, like your heart rate, your steps, and sleep tracking. It's got a titanium concave design. So the little edges are a bit raised above the middle part, so it sort of concaves in. And the titanium makes it surprisingly lightweight. Definitely when you pick it up, it doesn't feel that heavy, despite the fact for all the sensors you might think that it would. It's got this little ridge line at the top here, and that's to indicate that it is the top, because when you put it on your finger, that's the part that should be facing up, so then all the sensors can be exactly where they need to be. As far as sizing goes, you actually need to know your own size going in, or Samsung do actually have, as part of the purchase process, a sizing kit. So it becomes part of the sale. So you just got to choose when you're on the website after you select your color and everything. No, I don't know my own size. And then it actually guides you through the process of telling you to they'll send you a sizing kit. Once you decide your size, you let them know. Sizing kit's quite interesting. It's obviously got all the sizes in there. You're encouraged to test it, wear it, try different fingers, see what's most comfortable before you finish your order. The good thing is too that Samsung has said you can wear this on any finger. So there's absolutely no need for you to think you need to wear it on your ring finger or your index finger. You could choose any of the fingers on your hand, because the algorithm and the readings actually aren't impacted by what finger they're on. It's the same. It also comes in this pretty incredible see-through case. I really like the style and design of this. Like, Samsung have kind of really nailed the fact that it is see-through, and it does look very much like sort of a ring box. You can see the little light illuminates. The ring will actually charge inside of here. So when I take this off and put this here, that will actually start to charge, as you can see. Charges wirelessly off the back on there, and it also has USB-C for charging as well. Should mention, part of the unboxing process, the little box that the case is housed in, it's also like a little ring box. Once you've got it all sort of out of the box, and the setup process is very, very simple. Here's some settings that you can sort of enable and the activities that it can track. So when you're in the Galaxy Wearable app, you can sort of see an overview of what everything looks like. Obviously, the first thing you'll see across the top is the energy score, the sleep, and the heart rate. They're the main three things that the watch will track. We'll come back to those. First, there is some settings inside health. So when we go into health here, you can see the things that you can toggle to do with the ring itself. So you can see at the top the heart rate alert, so you can turn that on depending on high or low. You've also got sleep tracking, and this can do blood oxygen, store detection, and skin temperature during sleep. Turn all of those on. The store detection, it will just sort of, depending on your needs, you can have it always or just do it once and record audio at the same time, and then you can hear yourself, although it is quite embarrassing. There's also stuff around cycles for women's health, predicting via skin temperature. And then depending on whether or not you have your watch on, it can auto-detect activities as well. But if you have a watch, as I do, I've got the Galaxy Watch, you might not need that. The other thing I found really interesting is to do with gestures. So the Watch Ultra brought in the gestures like with double pinch. Well, so does the Red. If you go in here, there's two different ones that you can activate. You can double pinch to dismiss an alarm, or you can double pinch to take a picture or a video. So if I hit try it, it sort of guides you through, and you can it'll tell you whether you got it or whether you didn't get it. And if you want to try it in the camera, you basically just can launch the camera here. That's looking at the camera that's recording. So if I double pinch here, takes the photo. I can imagine that's going to be really useful, especially for the Fold with its form factor, being able to stand a distance away and prop it up in flex mode. quite excited to try that out. I accidentally did it the other day, so I'm glad now I can just do it on purpose. In here as well is where you can check the Ring software, so you can update it if you need to. There isn't one at the moment though, but this is where you can check and download and install it should it have one. And you've got the other sort of usual reset and other settings to go along with it. Now the Ring, it has, and I guess contributes to a number of health activity metrics. So the first one being energy score. So this is part of Galaxy AI, where it will actually track a whole bunch of stuff, activities and sleep, and then using AI, it will give your body an energy score and a bit of guide on sort of what you can do to improve it or maintain what it is you're doing. It's quite helpful. I would say that, you know, the factors that sort of go into it, you would know yourself probably, but it might be good to see on a bit of a chart what you can maybe improve in some areas. So sleep time average is fair, meaning maybe I'll probably need to go to bed a bit earlier, wake up a bit later, that sort of thing. And it can check things like heart rate during sleep, skin temperature during sleep, and respiratory rates. All of that is very, very good to know. And then obviously your sleep tracking comes into it as well. That's just the overall sleep score plus all of the other sort of stages of sleep that it can track, and then heart rate. So this can do constant or sort of that continuous heart rate monitoring. This will sort of be able to do that. The thing is, if you have a Watch Ultra or just a watch in general, the Ring kind of takes a back seat to those activities and metrics being tracked. It's definitely done more so on the watch first than it is on the Ring. Now, away from all that sort of stuff and the Ring as a daily sort of piece of tech that you wear, what's it actually like? So in 3 days, it's obviously not a lot of time to get used to something, but it does give me enough information to go off to at least tell you what the first experience is like. It will take you an adjustment. If you're used to normal rings or normal jewelry, it's a lot bigger than that. Not in terms of its weight. Like I said, it's very, very light, but the protrusion out from the finger means that normal day-to-day stuff will actually take a bit of getting used to. But the good thing is that it's pretty life-proof. It's got the water and dust resistance, so you don't have to worry when you take it to the elements or do things like wash your hands. It's pretty much secure. It's made from titanium, so no matter what you're sort of doing, whether that be outdoors on a walk, pushing prams, sipping on iced coffee because it's quite warm here in Australia at the moment, taking a sip from drink bottles, like you will hear that tap, but it's not going to be any sort of problem for the titanium finish when you're tapping it on the drink bottle. Also holding your phone too. I was kind of worried about that. It does definitely tap on the back of the phone. You will notice that in your day-to-day usage. And if you hold your phone a bit like this, it will tap up against the side. Thing is, you kind of get used to it, and it's not going to probably impact as much as you might think. But daily wear, you definitely will feel it. It also becomes a bit of a fidget toy, especially when you can feel it with your thumb, because I've got it on my index finger. It can be something that I sort of fidget around with, and it might be unintentional. I usually fidget with this ring here, and that's fine, like it's my wedding ring. But this one here is a little bit bigger, and you're not meant to probably fiddle with it because it needs to sit in a certain place for the sensors to work. Sleeping with it has been great. In fact, due to the Watch Ultra's quite large size and also lacking battery life, I've actually found the Ring to be really, really good at filling the gap when this is on charge for sleep tracking. And the reason why the gap is filled by this is because the battery life on this is insane. 3 days in, and it came out of the box at around about 100%, and it's only on 81%. So the fact that I can be guaranteed this amount of time already, but with still this much to go, would probably give me on average between a week and a half of battery life. I could imagine if I didn't have the Ring complementing the watch, probably wouldn't get as long out of the Ring because the watch kind of takes over in certain situations, especially when it comes to activity tracking. But the two complement each other nicely in that sense because I can use one for one thing and one mainly for the other. In my full review, I will go into a bit more detail regarding sort of overall battery life and maybe do a bit of testing, isolating this on its own compared to wearing them both together. So the question I guess still remains is, why do you need this? Or who would need this? The Ring comes into the equation for people who don't want big bulky tech. They want something more minimal. Like it's not obvious they're wearing technology. Not everyone wants a smartwatch. Smartwatches can be like wearing a computer on your wrist. They can dominate your overall sort of visual look, whereas a ring is much more subtle. And because of the fact that it can still track things, people probably might still want those metrics, steps, heart rate, sleep tracking, and they can do it very comfortably and very subtly. And if you have a smartwatch, do you need this? Well, that depends on what you use your smartwatch for. If you use your smartwatch predominantly for convenience, so getting notifications of phone calls, then yeah, you can absolutely complement a smartwatch with a smart ring like the Galaxy Ring and use them both in tandem, because you can turn off all of your health notifications on the watch and just use this on the ring, and then it might extend the battery life of both. But if you use your watch for everything, if your watch is your go-to convenience and health tracking sort of device, then there'll be no need to add the Galaxy Ring into your ecosystem. You need to really have a purpose for it. And if you use your smartwatch for all of it, then maybe skip this one. That's the Galaxy Ring. That's the first 3 days with it. So far, I really like the fact that it can complement my Galaxy Watch Ultra. I'm obviously going to keep wearing it, and I'll see where I land at the end of a few months. But as of now, I'm into it, and I like that Samsung's putting something different out there. Hit subscribe to SamMobile TV. Lots of stuff to come, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.